Welcome to all. In this video, we will see models of DNA replication. In general, DNA plays two major roles inside the cell. One is duplication and second one is information. During duplication, DNA replicates and each daughter cell contains almost identical copies of the DNA molecules of its mother cell. In rare cases, mutations or error occurs during replication. Next one is carrying information. DNA contains information in the sequence of nucleotides. Some sequence of the DNA signal the locations of protein where it has to bind, and another sequence are transcribed into RNA and release the genetic information either through RNA molecules involved in synthesis of certain specific biological functions or involved in the translation process. Now we will see the definition for DNA replication. DNA replication is the process of making identical copy of a DNA to the original template that results in the production of two replicas of DNA at the end. In short, DNA makes a copy of itself during the cell division is called a DNA replication. All the organism replicates the DNA with extraordinary precision to transfer the hereditary information to the daughter cells. In general, three models are proposed for DNA replication. These three are conservative method, semi-conservative method and dispersive method. Among the three, semi-conservative method is widely accepted one, then the conservative and dispersive method. So now we will briefly see these three methods of replication. First one is conservative method of replication. According to this method, after the DNA synthesis, the parental DNA strands base pair each other and move to one cell. Similarly, two strands of daughter DNA pair together and move to another daughter cell. So here, for example, this is the parental DNA. After cell division, again parental DNA move to one daughter cell. Newly synthesized DNA strands move to another daughter cell. Okay. So the parental DNA strands back together in this model. And next one is semi-conservative method of DNA replication. This is a widely accepted model of DNA replication and is proposed by Watson and Crick in addition to their deciphering DNA double helix structure. In this model, two strands unwind each other into a single stranded DNA. So here the purple color is parental DNA. Two strands are unwind each other. Each single strand of the DNA molecules produce the complementary DNA. The light blue colors are complementary DNA, daughter DNA strands produced. Finally, to the daughter cell, one parental DNA strand and one daughter DNA strand form the double helix and move to one daughter cell. Similarly, another parental DNA strand, another newly synthesized DNA strand base pair and move to another daughter cell. So the DNA double helix contains one strand from existing DNA and another strand from newly synthesized DNA. And the third model, less popular model, is dispersive model of DNA replication. In this method, the parental DNA double helix breaks into pieces and produces a new DNA molecule. At the end, the parental and daughter DNA double helix are rearranged in a mixed manner and interspersed each other. So the parental DNA make into different pieces, synthesized new DNA, and they are randomly or interspersed and joining each other and form the hybrid kind of complex. So next, out of these three models, the semi-conservative method of DNA replication is widely accepted one, and it is proved by the scientists called Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stahl in 1958 by a excellent experimental designing and setup. So this experiment is called one of the most beautiful experiment in biology. So to prove this hypothesis, they designed the strategy in the following manner. So for this purpose, they select the organism E. coli as a model, and they initially cultured E. coli for several generations in a nutrient medium in which the nitrogen is replaced by N15 isotope. So it is heavier than normal N14 nitrogen source. After several generations, the nitrogen base in all the DNA molecules carrying N15, so the DNA molecules will be slightly heavier than normal DNA which are carrying N14. After growing several generations, the E. coli was transferred to normal medium carrying lighter N14. So once they transferred to normal medium, they calculated E. coli doubling time, and every generation interval they collected sample and they isolated DNA for their comparison. So here for comparison they use the heaviness by centrifugation force. From the data they come to the conclusion that DNA method is semi-conservative. Let's see one by one. So initially they grow E. coli in N15 medium. Since they grow it for several generations, all the nitrogen base of DNA carries N15. So the total DNA will be slightly heavier than the DNA isolated from normal medium. Next, the DNA from N15 E. coli is purified and they labeled it as generation 0. After that, they completely change the medium with normal nitrogen, that is N14. Here, by calculating the doubling time, they collected the DNA samples from end of generation 1, generation 2, generation 3 and generation 4. So once they collected, they purified the DNA and clearly labeled and centrifuged all the 5 samples separately in a sucrose density gradient solution. So density gradient centrifugation allows the molecules placed in certain specific places according to their density. If the molecule is heavier, it is moving to bottom position. If it is lighter, it is moving to top position. If it is intermediate, it is placed in the middle position. So in 0 generation, that means several generations grown E. coli carrying N15, ultimately the DNA become heavier. So in sucrose density gradient centrifugation, just assume this is a tube in which sucrose is there. They load the DNA in the top and perform centrifugation. And at the end of centrifugation, they identify the place by relative distance from the top. Okay. So here you can see the heavier N15 DNA move to the bottom position since it is heavier, that is 0 generation. Next, they transfer the E. coli to normal medium in which N14 will be the source for daughter's DNA strands to be replicated. So originally all the parents have 100% N15 DNA. They form the 2 single strand and newly synthesized single strands are N14. The resultant, the daughter cells carrying double stranded DNA in which one strand is N15, another strand is N14. So the weight will be slightly lesser than generation 0. So it will place slightly higher position in generation 1. Next, in generation 2, what will happen since they are hybrid, 50% carrying N15, 50% carrying N14. So all the N14 carrying parental strand produce N14, N14 double strand, whereas the N15 carrying parental strand produce 50% hybrid and 50% N14, N15 hybrid single strand. That result in 50% of the DNA move to lighter position, that means slightly upper position than intermediary position, and 50% of the DNA in the intermediate position. When processing to next generation, the 50% of the lighter molecules will produce complete 100% N14 lighter double strand DNA, whereas 50% hybrid strands produce one half of the hybrid again and one half of the lighter chain again. So that results in 75% of the lighter DNA molecules and 25% of the heavier DNA molecules in that generation. In 4th generation, out of these 25% hybrid DNA parental strand, 12.5% carry hybrids and 12.5% lighter. So altogether 87.5% of the DNA carrying lighter N14 strands in the generation 4. So this method clearly picturized that the DNA mode of replication is semi-conservative. From the parental DNA, always one strand is exist in the daughter cell and newly synthesized another strand form the duplex in the daughter cells. So this is the most excellent experiments to prove semi-conservative method of DNA replication.